Hey guys, so today I am going to be showing you my self-tanning routine for the most part, as much as I can show on YouTube. But yeah, I recently started, well not recently, within the last few months started self-tanning, and I really liked it, especially for the summer. As you can tell, I'm Casper, the Friendly Ghost. I'm pretty much naturally a redhead, so I have ginger skin, and so yeah, I am very pale. So I'm going to be showing you guys my self-tanning routine. To start with, I think the most important part of self-tanning is the actual prepping process. That being the number one, I think, most important thing besides the actual whole self-tan is exfoliation. This is the exfoliating sugar scrub that I use. This is the Tree Hut Chase Sugar Scrub Tropical Mango. You can use any sugar scrub or salt scrub that you want. Or you can buy an exfoliating mitt. I know that they make those. I haven't used them because I am just kind of a sugar scrub type of girl. And I also don't like having to kind of repeat it. You can even make your own sugar scrub, which is nice and cost effective and less waste, whatever. But yeah, so I always start with exfoliating. And then from exfoliating is shaving. Obviously that one's kind of a no-brainer, but kind of the background as to why. When you have the body hair, so I shave my arms. A lot of people aren't into that. That's totally fine. I do. I shave my arms, armpits, legs, pretty much everything. And that's just so well, honestly, I do it anyway, regardless. I have forever, but part of the reason as to why you do that is because the self-tan wants to grab onto the hair, and it also wants to grab onto the dry patches of your body. So when you are exfoliating, really focus on your elbows and your knees or anywhere on you that gets really, really dry. That is kind of where it's going to try to grab onto the most. So for self-tanning, like I said, I go through, I shower, I exfoliate, I shave. I never do it right before I'm about to self-tan. I'll either do it the night before or the morning of, and then at nighttime, then I'll do it. And the reason for that is obviously it takes a long time to shave and shower and stuff like that. You're in the hot water, your pores are gonna open up. And so if you get directly out of the shower and go to put that self-tan on, your pores are still gonna be open. And what that results in, because I've made this mistake, is tiny little brown, or depending how dark the self-tan is, even like they could look like black dots all over you. And that goes for not just your legs, because I know sometimes people just naturally have that. I have that, like if my hair grows out or whatever, I get little dots. But also your arms, your hand, like everything, you just get little dots. I've even had them like right here on my décolletage. But yeah, so that's one kind of key component, I would say. I think exfoliating and shaving is important, but also don't do it right before you're about to actually start self-tanning. I think that ends up in not that great of a tan. Another thing that's really important is hydrating. So depending on you, you can either hydrate lotion, body cream, whatever, everything, or just your dry patches. I've done both. I personally think that I get similar results with both. Not everyone would agree. Most people would say to just exfoliate like your elbows, your kneecaps, and anywhere else that you get really, really dry. They'll do that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and demo for you kind of my self-tanning process and kind of key tips and stuff like that, what I use, and all that good stuff. So the first thing that I do is I actually have vinyl gloves. You can use latex too if you want. I don't know how different they are. I just like the non-powdered ones because from when I was in cosmetology school, getting the powder and shit like that on my hands, I am not about it. I don't like it. It dries my skin out. It freaks me out. I'm not a fan. So I put it on both hands. So that is because sometimes when you are kind of switching your glove and stuff like that, I don't know about you, but I don't want to stain the bottom of my fingers. And yeah, so gloves on, look like a surgeon. Next thing, tanning mitt. Some people will use a brush for that. for me, that's a little bit time consuming. When I do my tan, I like to do it, get it done, over with, call it a day. So I use and my packaging's a little dirty, excuse me. This is not a new mitt. It's had a couple uses, and if you want a video on how I clean my mitt, we can do that too. But I just got this off of Amazon. It's the Gaia self-tanning applicator mitt. It's nice, it looks like an oven mitt. It works, it does the job. And yeah, so simple as that. I put it on, and then, oh, actually, you know what, before I start that, let me talk about the self-tanner that I use. So to start with, I have not tried another self-tanner besides like gradual tans, which I'm not a huge fan of. If I'm gonna do it, I wanna get dark, and I wanna get dark quick, right? I want it a couple hours max, sleep in it, and then I'm good. So I use the Jergens Instant Sun. I use the deep bronze color. I have tried the light bronze. It is not as dark as I want it to. Like I said, if I'm gonna do it, I wanna go all the way, I wanna get dark. That's just that. So yeah, here we go. So I do quite a bit. I think, actually, you know, let me start with the opposite hand. So I'll do, this is a new one, so bear with me. Oh, but anyway, I got this off of, you can get it at Target. I got mine off of Amazon. I think it's like $9 compared to like a Loving Tan, which I haven't tried, which I would love to, but you know, that's like a $40 self tanner. And with someone who's kind of a little bit of a beginner-ish, I think this is a really good option. Or just on the affordable side of things, I think it's a really good option. So do with that info what you will. But yeah, sorry, I'm moving my bath mat out of the way because I don't want to get a faint tan on it, because I can get a little sloppy, I won't lie. And so I go ahead and I start. And also another thing that I think is kind of important and pertinent to this is I have what they call KP, which is keratosis pilaris, which a lot of people have, or this kind of even counts for eczema. I have little bumps all over the tops of my arms. So when I do self-tan, just like how you would tan or I'm sorry, not tan, but moisturize like your hands and your elbows and stuff like that to avoid it clinging, I put a decent amount on my, what was I saying? Oh, on my upper arms, because that's where my kind of KP is, and I get little bumpies and stuff like that all over. They call it chicken skin syndrome if you've ever heard of it or you haven't. I also tan my armpits, but I put lotion on them beforehand so they don't get as dark, because nobody wants super dark armpits. I think it just looks weird. And also they don't fade as fast as the rest of your body, I've noticed. So sometimes it can kind of hang on right there. Going in with like 4 pumps, and then doing that again. And then again, I'm just doing circular motions, kind of coating everything. It looks really shiny on camera, I just realized that. But I go in, then underneath my arms, and you can kind of see the difference as I'm doing it. And what you're seeing right now is not the actual color that it ends up. It ends up a lot darker, frankly. And I'm trying to multitask, and I'm not very good at it. This is the color guard, which I really like that it has a color guard so I can see what I'm doing as I do it. And another thing is, while I'm doing it, I pretty much do all of my arm, and then I'll do my elbows very last when there's the least amount of product, because your elbows, like I said, they grab onto it. And sorry, just doing through here. Yeah, so your elbows, they grab onto it a lot, and they can get a lot darker than the rest of you. And I do my hands and feet the very, very last. So I do those with pretty much close to nothing on it. And that way, I don't get them as dark, because I've had self-tanner hands. And that's also why I wear the gloves, because it will, I don't care what mitt you have, it'll soak through the mitt and you'll get it on your fingers. And I made that mistake. I was like, I have a mitt, I don't need a glove. Yeah, no, I had Cheeto fingers. And this self-tanner isn't even like orangey. Well, it's warm, I'll say that. But it's not like orangey. And, you know, I don't want Cheeto fingers. If I wanted Cheeto fingers, I would eat Cheetos, which I can't do on the diet that I'm on. Also, another thing, kind of just talking about that, if you guys want to hear more about the diet that I'm on, I am on like a low carb diet with my husband. If you ever want to hear anything about that, a lot of people call it keto. I technically think we're more low carb than keto. So I don't like to, you know, I think there's a lot of keto cops out there. And I'm doing my hands right now, but just taking my rings off. There we go. So for your hands, like I said, you want pretty much close to nothing on there. And I always kind of go in circular motions, but a good thing too is you do the claw. And my fingers are kind of ugly, I'm not gonna lie. I have like weird, crooked, double jointed fingers. So they probably look a little bit scary right now, disregard. But when you do this, you make sure that you get in between those knuckles, and you wanna kind of go in between your fingers. That way you don't get what they call like web fingers, because I've done that, where like the top of my hand is really tan and then in between my fingers is like pasty white. Honestly, I think this is the palest that I've been in a while. I've been self-tanning pretty religiously, and so I'm excited to see the difference. And what I'll do is I'm not gonna show y'all everything, I mean, but I am gonna come back once it's processed and show you guys like the finished product and everything like that, to see kind of where it's at. Sorry, I'm putting this glove back on. If I can get my hand in there, to do the other hand. Again, claw hand. And you know, sometimes it feels like there's not enough on the mitt to do your hands, but there is. I promise. Don't put self-tanner directly on your hands. You will regret it. You will hate your life. You will have Cheeto fingers. I promise. Unless you're some type of like self-tanning wizard and your body just like is good to use self-tan wise. So that is all for the demo. I will hop back on once this is processed for you guys and talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, otherwise I will see you guys once this is processed. Hey you guys, so I am just coming back to show you guys the results of my self-tan. The lighting is not super great in here, so bear with me for that. But as you can tell, obviously there is a bit of a difference. My skin is kind of red right now because I just got out of the shower a little bit ago. But yeah, I did get some really good results. And you can, I don't know if it's recommended, but I think you can reapply like the next day to get like a darker result. This is just one application. I really like it. It's a huge difference for me, and it makes me feel good when I'm a little bit more bronzed and stuff like that to kind of wear stuff like this. It also, like I mentioned in the earlier video, I do have KP, so I get the bumps on my arms and stuff like that, and it helps mask that a little bit, I think, and helps me just feel a little bit better. So I really hope you guys liked this video. If you want to hear more about this, or if you like videos like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Bye.